kind of alchemy technique made Xianxia happy. In the past, the pill he refined was not of high grade, and the materials were easy to find. There was no problem in refining one pill from one part of the material. With High Heaven Sect as his backing, Xianxia didn't need to worry about the source of the materials. But now he is already a Void King grade alchemist, and the materials for refining pills are not only extremely valuable and hard to find but also need something like elixir. Even if there is a High Heaven Sect, you can't find too many materials. If he could refine more than one spirit pill with a single material, it would be a huge profit for him. This matter is not in a hurry. He has just been promoted to the Void King grade alchemist, and he needs a lot of experience to accumulate. Only when the experience of refining the Void King grade spirit pill is accumulated to a certain level can he study deeper things. After half a month, Xianxia returned to Greenwater City. He didn't find Su Yan on this trip, and he didn't plan to continue delaying on this cultivation star. He still needs to return to Tongshuan continent as soon as possible and transfer his relatives and friends there to Shadowed Star to provide them with better cultivation environment and resources. When he arrived at the inn where Qian Tong and others lived before, Xianxia swept away his spiritual mind, and his face was stunned. Qian Tong and others are not here. This unexpected discovery made him feel suddenly stunned, not knowing if Qian Tong and the others had some accident. After all, when he was leaving that day, he had made an appointment with them to meet here. Where will they go? Xianxia frowned, took out the communication compass, and poured the spiritual mind into it. After a while, the communication compass lights up. There was a wave of divine consciousness from the inside, and Xianxia quickly poured his spiritual mind to investigate. After snooping on the message Qian Tong had sent to him, Xianxia was extremely surprised. They didn't have any accidents. On the contrary, they are living well now, and they have become the high-ranking guest elder in Greenwater City. This result surprised Xianxia. Putting away the compass, Xianxia rushed out of the inn and walked towards a building in the center of Greenwater City. When he got there, Qian Tong and others were already waiting with a smile. They haven't seen each other for several months, and they didn't ask Xianxia what he was doing. Welcome Xianxia into the building with extreme enthusiasm. Asking people to serve tea, Ben explained to Xianxia. It turned out that shortly after Xianxia left that day, the city master of Greenwater City personally came to visit Qian Tong and others. After all, the lineup of 5 third-order Void Return stage powerhouses teamed up. No one can ignore even on this Green Hills star. What's more, Greenwater City is still a small city. In the city, except for the city master and vice city master, who is a cultivator of this level, there is no other master of third-order realm. When Qian Tong and others came here suddenly, the city master of Greenwater City also murmured directly in the heart, not knowing what they intended. With fear in his heart, he came to inquire about Qian Tong and others' intentions. After learning that Qian Tong and others were not martial artists from Green Hills Star, only to participate in the Blood Prison Smelting Trial, the city master of Greenwater City was relieved. Immediately draw in and invite Qian Tong and others to serve as the elders of Greenwater City. Qian Tong and the others didn't want to agree at the beginning. For them, Green Hill Star is just a place to break through to advancement, and they will return to Shadowed Star in the future. There is no need to serve as the elder of a city here. To rashly agree is also irresponsible. They can only wait for the city master of Greenwater City to clarify the stakes and inform Qian Tong and others that he will also participate in the Blood Prison Smelting Trial. After thinking everyone can help each other, Qian Tong and others think about it for a while and agree. However, they did not agree to the position of elders but only agreed to be a high-ranking guest. And they have already told the city master of Greenwater City, after the Blood Prison Smelting Trial ended, they'll leave. The city master of Greenwater City gladly agreed. That's why they didn't live in the inn, but settled in the place arranged for them by the city master of Greenwater City. We are outsiders after all. This city master is afraid of us, and it is only natural that he intends to win us over. But since he is a native cultivator of Green Hills Star, he knows more about the Blood Prison Smelting Trial than we should, and it is also possible to join hands with him. It's a combination that benefits both, Qian Tong said leisurely. Yang Kai nodded. It's okay to have a local snake to take care of. At least you don't need to bother to inquire about intelligence. A few seniors can do it by themselves, but some of them should be careful not to be caught in the city master of Greenwater City scheming. After all, people's hearts are separated by their belly. Qian Tong and others laughed. Mo Yu said, Sect Master Yang can rest assured. Although the city master of Greenwater City is shrewd, according to my contact with him, his character is not bad. Moreover, even if he have a scheme, he is alone. We are not afraid. That's because the kid is worrying too much. Yang Kai nodded. Well, since the seniors are well here, then I can leave without worry. How long will it take you to come back? Qian Tong looked at him solemnly. I don't know. It can be as short as 1 or 2 years, and as long as 3 or 4 years. Maybe I can come back before the Blood Prison Smelting Trial, and then I will go in and see the excitement inside. Yang Kai grinned. That's the best. If we are with you, I think this trial will be much safer. Qian Tong's spirit was shocked, obviously very confident in Yang Kai's strength. The others were also looking at Yang Kai with vigor, as if wishing him to go back early. Yang Kai smiled, then looked at Xianxia and said, You come back to Tongshuan continent with me, or stay here? Me? Xianxia's face showed hesitation. She really didn't know what choice to make. Tongshuan continent is the homeland of her and Yang Kai. It is fake to say that she doesn't miss it. She was forced to leave in the past, and now she has the opportunity to return. Naturally, she wants to go back and see the land where she grew up. But the scenery remains the same, but that piece of land has long been a dubious. Everything related to the Ice Sect should no longer exist. Perhaps the people there didn't know from the beginning to the end that there was a vast ice field where the Ice Sect once stood. I'll stay. Qianxu's confused beautiful eyes gradually became firm and made a decision. The people related to me should all be in the Star territory. I will only increase my sadness when I go back. Staying here I can continue to inquire about the news, maybe can use this time to find out some news. Yang Kai nodded slowly, but did not try to persuade her. She made such a choice within reason. Then Qianxia will be entrusted to your seniors to take care of carefully. Yang Kai looked at Qian Tong and others. Don't worry, there are a few people here. No one dares to do anything to her. There are not many experts in the Void King realm. Qian Tong laughed, and they were the strongest below the Void King realm. 5 people joined forces. It is estimated that few people would dare to ask for trouble. This Mo does not have much to say, only for Sect Master Yang to have a good journey, go early and return early. Mo Yu said solemnly. Sect Master is careful all the way. Yang Xiuju also looked at Yang Kai. Yang Kai nodded. He didn't stay longer in Greenwater City, after knowing that Qian Tong and others were safe. Departed the next day. Embarked in a journey back to his homeland. The Star Shuttle flew out of Green Hill Star. The battleship was released from the Mysterious Boundary Bead, and after the disciples were ready, the battleship quickly sailed into the starry sky. Back in the past, Yang Kai was passionate. Breaking into the Star territory with the cultivation level of Saint stage, it has been decades after being separate from those old people, and he don't know how they lived during these decades, and whether there was any change. Yang Kai's mood fluctuated, and he suddenly felt a sense of being homesick. This mood becomes more obvious over time. He asked the battleship to return along the path he had traveled back then, feeling the changes in his mood, letting the ups and downs in his heart condense and settle. The mood became solid without knowing it. Suddenly looking back, he is no longer the hairy boy back then. Today, he has a powerful cultivation level of the second-order Void Return stage, an invincible existence under the Void King realm, dominating the High Heaven Sect, on the Shadowed Star, under 1 person, and over 10,000. His waist is straight like a javelin, and his expression is proud and resolute. Leisurely, as if he had some sense, he turned his head and looked in one direction. At the same time, his spiritual mind came out. A beautiful scene was imprinted in his observation. One after another, huge and unmatched stars with different attributes of energy surround a certain part of the starry sky. And at the center of them, in that void place, something seemed to be calling Xianxia faintly. It made him feel it even if he was thousands of miles away. Chaotic abyss. Actually already here, Xianxia suddenly returned to his senses, only to find that he was flowing silently in the long river of time, and he had forgotten the passage of time. This was Xianxia's first stop when he first entered the star territory. This is the most dangerous and unpredictable area in the entire star territory. In that seemingly peaceful and beautiful location, there is a danger that humans cannot resist. Chaos storms are countless times more terrifying than star storms, and they can swallow battleships. Xianxia was swallowed by the chaotic storm here, and fell into the floating continent, where he met a strong character like the ghost ancestor, and knew the excitement in the star territory. Back then, he didn't know the mystery, but now his strength has improved and his vision has broadened. After thinking about it carefully, he already understands the mystery. The concentration of palpitating energy can compress a space, making it impossible for people to find it, and the outbreak of the chaotic storm is the key to opening the door of this space. In the very center of the chaotic abyss, a small interface is hidden. That is the floating continent. When Xianxia left the floating continent with a ghost ancestor and others back then, he once left a thread of spiritual mind placed in the center of the underground of the floating continent. There was an unusually huge mass of energy there, and Xianxia has suspicion that it was the origin of the floating continent. At that time, his strength was low and he didn't dare to move rashly. Passing here now, the connection between the thread of divine consciousness and him immediately formed, as if calling him to enter it. Xianxia did not respond. Although his current strength is completely different from the original one, he is not yet arrogant enough to refine that energy. If the origin of the stars were so easily refined, the ghost ancestor would not be trapped in it for 2,000 years. He still needs to wait until his strength becomes stronger before he will try this. The speed of the battleship did not decrease, and soon it left the chaotic abyss behind and drove straight to the location of Tongshuan continent. To be continued.